that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
episode 1157. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we hear from... I have no idea who we hear from today. Okay, that's good. But I know we have this segment called the FM Project, the Fascinating Material Project.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So, and it's about a celebrity that I was once in love with. But
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yes, the last podcast was called Skating, and I have to say that I am hating this computer right here. Oh yeah, today it's Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere. And he happens to be the engineer. And I'm hearing something else in my ear.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Because of stupid SF Gate has a bunch of pop-ups. Thank you.
Mike's
SF Gate.
Daily.
Why isn't my not
Podcast.
pop-up blocker not working?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, so let's see. Let's get to the FM project right now then.
The Fascinating Material Project.
FM Project.
Yeah, let's get it all out of the way right now. And while I'm doing the news story, all the characters will walk in. That sounds cool. Just throw, we mix things up on this show. So, Stanford University is getting some teaching help from supermodel and entrepreneur Tyra Banks. Remember her when she was on Sports Illustrated in that red bikini? Holy gosh. She's 42 now. Just 5 years younger than me, and she's set to co-teach a class at Stanford's Business School on what else? Managing your personal brand. The course is entitled Project U, because wasn't her show Project Runway? Project U, building and extending your personal brand, and will run on the Stanford campus in the spring of 2017. And there's going to be a lot of hot ladies, I'm sure, in the seats.
Hey now, you're a rock star.
Seats.
Get your game on. Is that how that went?
Of that particular class. If anyone can talk about personal brand, it's Banks. Oh, look who just walked in. Right there.
But I just want to set the record straight.
Hello, my Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, Gift Job Supervisor. Oh my gosh, your computer is like on acid. It is on acid today. Would you go and sit in the class of Tyra Banks' class? Mike Matthews, I would sit in her class and listen to her because she's a strong woman who's very beautiful. Right. What if she was a strong woman who was ugly? Mike Matthews, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And stuff. Yeah. She first transitioned from a modeling career to hosting the popular reality TV show America's Next Top Model starting in 2003, and later hosted her daytime talk show, The Tyra Banks Show, where I think one of the shows she showed getting a colonoscopy or something like that. She will teach alongside Allison Kluger, a former television producer of The View and current Stanford Business School lecturer. Should any students think this class is a joke and try sleeping their way through the course, Banks is watching. She says, if I see somebody not paying attention, I'm going to call on them. Oh, look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, it's Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, it sounds as if your computer's about to explode. Why do we keep talking about the computer that I have? It's computer's working fine here at Cafe Anyway. We have no problems whatsoever. Okay, a little bit of a problem. Finally, to wrap up this story, it seems heavily social media centric from the looks of things, and students will be required to film a 90-second video before the course starts, stating who you are, what your personal brand is, and what you want it to be. Oh, nice. They were also made aware that portions of the class could be streamed on Facebook Live and presentations will be uploaded to YouTube. Oh, that might be interesting to watch and see, in fact, if my theory about the student body of her class has bodies that are So, where was I going with this? Mike, you have a dirty mind. Thanks, Floyd. Kluger said she was drawn to teaching the course with Banks after seeing her speak at a fireside chat at Stanford back in May. So it happened this recently. Banks earned a certificate of completion in an owner-president management program at Harvard Business School in 2012. So what we've learned is don't ever go to sfgate.com to look at stories for your podcast because it will mess up your computer. And I'm closing that, and it's gone, and hopefully, yes, we're still recording, and all is well. So I found that story fascinating. Hey, we haven't looked at the podcast picture yet.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture, that podcast picture is of the wonderful place called the Granada Theater in Santa Barbara. I went to school at UCSB, and this is the theater where I saw Back to the Future 2 and a bunch of other movies. This was the theater. I once went on a date with this girl I was nuts about, and we saw, I think it was called Dads. It was with Ted Danson and Isabella Rossellini. Yeah, that long ago. Jack Lemmon was in it too, I think. It was quite the date night movie to see. But that didn't last. I think we went on that date. And we stayed friends. And I used to come up to the Bay Area to see her. That's right. She was my connection to the Bay Area. And she had parents that lived in San Francisco in this really nice old house. And in fact, and then her grandparents had a house like right there in that area that Mrs. Doubtfire was filmed. And they had a swing in their attic. That's right. That was a fun, and like you'd look out their windows and see the Golden Gate Bridge and the Palace of Fine Arts. So beautiful. And that got me hooked on wanting to come up to the Bay Area. But then I moved up here and I'm like, hey, I think I won't live in San Francisco. I'll live across the bay where it's cool. Yes, I love the East Bay. I love Podcaster Valley. I have a good time there. But the Bay Area is an interesting place. The worst weather we've had as of late is hot temperatures, but actually now it's cooled off quite a bit. It was actually kind of cold. I had to wear pants and a jacket yesterday on my walk with Basil the Boxer. Usually I'm just in shorts, showing off my fantastic legs. But the Baton Rouge area, southern Louisiana, all the flooding they're having, horrible weather. They had that huge storm that just came out of nowhere and just dumped so much rain and caused all that flooding. It had no name, this storm. It wasn't like they could blame it on a Katrina or a Rita or something. It was just a big storm that appeared. So just crazy weather we have in the wildfires in California. But on a lighter note, I did karaoke. Karaoke Friday. With some friends in Podcaster Valley. I supplied the musical equipment. I set it all up. I had my laptop there. And then people would... Actually, nobody was singing at first, so I volunteered at first. I tried singing that Shut Up and Dance With Me song by Walk the Moon. And sounded horrible. And then, of course, that's good because then people think, I can do better than that. And they got up and they sang. And people were doing Sonny and Cher's I Got You, Babe. And my friend Robert Owen Welsh, who does Welsh on the World. Actually, he doesn't. But the show intro for his segment sounds like this.
Welsh on the World.
One of these days, Robert, you'll do another segment. But he sang Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, and it was the whitest white version you've ever heard. But it was fun. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring a Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. I also went back to Benicia again. When this time of year, it is so cold at the beach here in the Bay Area that it's nice to head over to Benicia because it's beach-like. The downtown area is got this cool little beach that Basil the Boxer can run around on, and there's all kinds of cool restaurants and stuff down there. I've talked about it before. I'm such a spokesperson for Benicia. They should give me a complimentary house, but no. So I spent the whole day there. It was great. Now, next show, this has been wow. We barely just got over the 10-minute mark. Well, what are you going to do when you talk about Tyra Banks? There's not a lot there, so you got to kind of wrap it up quick. But that's pretty much the show. And I'm tired as hell, so I hope you're okay with me cutting out a little early. It's overcast. It's Monday. I hope it's a great week for you. I got some somewhat bad news. Well, no, it's really bad news, actually, having to do with my mom's boyfriend. I won't go into it in detail here, but think good thoughts for my mom's boyfriend. He's just an awesome guy, and but when you get up there in age, things start to not work the right way, so think good thoughts for him, though. Next show, I am going to bring you, though, some fun stuff, maybe a little bit more wonderful content. Hate when people call this sort of stuff in podcast content. Why do we do that? Material? No. I'll just bring you more podcast. That's what we'll say. More pod for you next show with Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike, it's Mikey Fikey. Great.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!